Hopefully you made profits from our last video because I explained that we were actually hitting a parabolic curve on the weekly time frame, and I told you that I was going to possibly enter into a long position, which I did. And as you can see it right here, the trade actually resulted in huge profits, even going far above the projection. And this would have given you a 2.1 risk to reward ratio. Very nicely done here on the Bitcoin time frame. A lot of people were panicking, and I was like, look, on the weekly time frame, we're actually hitting the parabolic curve, and we hit it right about here, and we actually saw prices begin to reverse upwards. However, I'm going to be very careful if I were you right now, because we're actually creating a very nice double top here on the 4-hour time frame, and we actually have the RSI divergence confirming it as well. So, and also if I had to move to the side at this point, you will discover that we're actually forming a movement towards the resistance zone. If I'm to just draw this from this point to this point right now, we are actually at the base of this resistance zone. And so Bitcoin might actually see slight retracements, probably maybe to this point of support at about $60,000 or $61,000, or hopefully come back to the point of this previous neckline at about 64,500, try to grab some support and then, break above of that. But presently, Bitcoin has actually formed a nice double top pattern here, and I would be very careful if I were you. However, but this is actually looking very good because we are actually creating a higher high than the previous high on the previous because we're actually creating a higher high than the previous high on the 4-hour time frame, which also happened at this point. But right now you can see that we also have very good buy volume at this scenario, but you might still want to be careful because the buying volume is kind of going a little bit low. We've hit a resistance zone on the 4-hour time frame, so you might want to be careful with your trades. I personally will be entering another long trade on the Bitcoin time frame. If we actually close above this resistance zone, I'll be entering up on the retest. I made some good profits at this point, and if you took this trade, you should have made at least 100% profits. But hey, I mean, I can only say mine. Decision is yours. This is still not financial advice, just my own personal technical analysis on the Bitcoin time frame. I want to drop to the daily time frame and see what we can make from what is happening on the daily time frame of Bitcoin. I want to ascertain what it is that we're doing on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, you can see it here. We hit this very nicely. Let me remove this so it becomes clearer for you to understand. We actually look at how this is very spot on. I actually drew this line when this was just forming, and it was so spot on. And we actually see that once we touch this parabolic curve, we saw some nice moves to the upside. I personally think Bitcoin may still hit about 66,900 thereabouts, and then possibly get rejected from this. This has served as rejection 1, 2, and hopefully not the third time. This particular zone is about 66,900 to about $68,500 thereabouts. So hopefully we are able to break above it. But like I said, on the 4-hour time frame, we're beginning to see some bearish momentum slowly creeping in on the Bitcoin price action, and we can actually see we might see a retracement to this particular zone here, like I explained when I was on the 4-hour time frame. But on the daily time frame, make no mistake, we are still on a bearish momentum, okay? Because this was our previous high. We created a lower low, and we are still yet to close above this previous high. So I'm still going to remain bearish on the Bitcoin price action until we see a close above, or we even if we wake to about 67, or even if we wick to about 67,900 thereabouts, I most likely may begin to get real bullish on the Bitcoin price action. But I mean, some traders out there went like, oh, Bitcoin is actually going to $70,000 thereabouts. Well, I personally being very careful to say that, because on the daily time frame, we are still on a bearish momentum. Okay, we are still creating lower lows. All right. And until this high closes above this previous high, I'm not going to turn bullish on Bitcoin. Okay. Yes, even though I didn't turn bullish on Bitcoin, I still made profits from the reversal. I told you, I mentioned it on this station when I was going to enter into this trade. and I shared it with everybody. Hopefully you made profits from that. So now I want to check the Ethereum price action. Let's see what we can make from the Ethereum price action and what is happening there if Ethereum actually closed above its parabolica. In my previous video, I mentioned Bitcoin was about to hit the parabolic curve and was most likely going to get support. But the opposite happened for Ethereum. We were closing below the parabolic curve. And hopefully right now, let's see if we've been able to close above the parabolic curve and see some very nice reversals to the upside. By the way, my network is very slow. I do not know why, but we just have to wait. All right, so we are actually on the Ethereum 4-hour time frame, and this line, this yellowish brown line, is our parabolic curve, and we're actually closed below this parabolic curve on the Ethereum time frame. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, and it is not looking good right now because we are actually trying to close above this parabolic curve, but so far it's still not yet happened. And we also have a very nice double top pattern at this point on the Ethereum 4-hour time frame. We are still struggling to enter back into this parabolic space, close above the parabolic line. I would be very happy if we can close above the parabolic line, because that would signify that this line is beginning to switch from resistance into support, and that would be nice to see for Ethereum. So, but that is not happening right now. So I am not going to be entering into any trades right now on the Ethereum price action because it is not looking good on the 4-hour time frame. We are also in a point of resistance, as you can see from this red zone. I want to move now to the daily time frame for Ethereum and see what we can actually make from it. If we can see, all right, now if you can see this clearly, this is our parabolic curve. We actually close below it on the daily. Wow. And that is not nice. Okay, we are still on a bearish trend and we are trying to close above this. However, we seem to have formed something like a double top at this point where we close below the neckline. This is going to hit resistance right now, and it's a 2-in-1 resistance actually, because we have the resistance on the horizontal level and we are also seeing the resistance on the parabolic curve. So you might want to be very careful with your trades, very careful with your trades. We are still yet to close below this monthly zone at this point. You can see we wicked below it but got supported back into it, very spot on, and this is actually nice to see. But I'll begin to get worried if we actually get rejected from this, because this is a 2-in-1 resistance, a very strong resistance right now. If we actually get rejected and close below the zone, I would begin to get worried for Ethereum, because then our price target would be at about $2,387, as I've explained severally on this channel. However, some people are saying they're seeing a very nice double bottom pattern, which may signify a bullish move to the upside. Well, if you want to take a long position, that is your discretion. I'm personally not entering into any long position right now until I see a close above this parabolic zone on the daily time frame or above this vertical resistance zone on the daily time frame. Okay, so that is it from me today on the Bitcoin and Ethereum chart analysis. I wanted to keep the video short so that you can easily get the main things you need to get, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye.